You can also actually find these things on physical magazines. You can actually find a product or a fashion spread and the QR code right next to it. You know, take a picture and then you are taken to the virtual window. Of course, we're also experimenting with digital watermarks, which allow you to do it without having a QR code. So how have we been doing? As I mentioned, we launched about 3 months ago, so the first 100 days. Quick numbers. We did a total of 4,600 customer orders till date, first 100 days. And sold about 9,500 items. That means about a little more than 2 items per order. Our highest orders per day, a single day, was just actually last week when we launched the sale. We did 195 orders on that one day. Our highest value order to date is from a lady in Secunda who spent 9,442 rand on this. We've made a total of 3.8 million rand in sales since we launched, which equates to about 826 rand per order customer spending. And 15% of all sales come from magazines. And mind you, we have not launched the look boards for all the magazines yet. Unfortunately, we're still working on getting those tools out there. So we haven't been quite started on that front. Our biggest category people buy is dresses. And you want to take a guess where the most shopaholics live in South Africa? So Gauteng accounts for 45% of our sales. And Cape Town, or Western Cape, is about 24%. And the highest priced product we've sold so far is the leather bag that you see there for 199. For those of you who are competitive out there, we also have Phantom high heels and wedges for 3,999. So easily beat this number. All right, our customers, of course, love us. I think that's the greatest thing about this. I mean, they talk about our fantastic service. They say how awesome we are and how fantastic and what wonder-like our products are. We get a lot of tweets almost every day telling us how quick our service is and delivery. I think this is definitely one of the things that's important for us. We believe that customers will come for the curation, but they will stay for the e-commerce experience. So a lot of investment goes into this. We got a ton of support from magazines. I'm only going to feature a few of those here. We had Fair Lady do a very interesting game to talk about Spree. They put together an ensemble, a look, and they took away one item. And they asked the customers, what do you think is the missing item? And if you pick one of those, like I did, I took the top one and then dragged it, it tells me, oops. And it explains why. While this necklace is beautiful, the pin will hang too low and the detail won't be visible against the black dress, and so on and so forth. Very engaging, interesting content, which then keeps you on site and also links to the different products that you can buy. We had another interesting experiment from Sheska Stark and Grazia. She maintained a Spree journal for 5 consecutive days. She posted herself wearing Spree clothes, and the marketing team tells me that week Grazia got the biggest amount of traffic in all those weeks and the most amount of conversion orders. So again, very interesting stuff. Highscommit also had a really nicely done 1 full-page article on Spree and the new store, and explaining that took a more educational route, explaining to the users how to shop online, so they're more comfortable. And lastly, just have 1 minute left. A quick look at the roadmap. We have big plans. We spent the last quarter launching clothes, shoes, and accessories. We're rapidly expanding. We're going to launch gifts next week, followed by bridal, kids and baby. And then next quarter is going to be beauty, decor, men's. So you'll see more of a full partner story soon. And there are a number of magazine titles that actually correspond to the categories we're launching, and we'll be talking to almost all of them. And on the marketing side, we have Fashion Week coming up soon in Cape Town. And then we are working on Sari Cover Girls Gospel. Okay. With that, I would now like to present to you the Spree team.